That's another thing I want to hit on is of the TOS. Yeah. They did just recently make changes that are making news right now, which is Twitch is now monitoring non-Twitch sites to monitor basically behavior. So they're looking at things like your Twitter, your Instagram, correct. And there's a lot of mixed reviews out there as far as what does this mean for content creators. Personally, I'm a fan of it. And from the standpoint of, and I'll be blunt about this. I don't care who's listening. If you're
your turn, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're a piece of shit, like I want to know about it, and Twitch should know about it, because listen, I don't believe that that's something you fake usually, right? You're not faking that. You can hide it a lot of times, and maybe you hide that, but it's going to come to the surface eventually. Your true personality in some way, shape, or form, regardless of how hard you work to quote, hide something, is going to come. So if you have a situation where you are displaying, I don't care if it's sexist, if it's racist, if it's homophobic, if it's any type of behavior that is just not acceptable in 2021 here, in this day and age, like, I'm going to say this very bluntly, I don't want you on our platform. Like,
I agree.
And this isn't just for, if you guys are listening, this isn't just for partners or affiliates. They're literally monitoring anybody they feel they need to, but I think it's all viable. I mean, they are a privatized company and have the right to say who gets in and who doesn't.
And you know what it comes down to? I genuinely feel like this is all coming through because of the hacking situations and because of all the sexual allegations going on 100%. YouTube right now. I think people need to be held accountable. If you're a streamer and you hack and you get in trouble for hacking outside of streaming, absolutely you should not be allowed to stream, because you're cheating. You're a cheater. You should not be allowed to stream. And maybe this will help people not want to hack. But I love the fact that Twitch is holding people accountable for being shitty people and doing stuff. Now, you know, people make mistakes, right? But not those types of mistakes. You really have to think about, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying like, you know, like to a certain extent, like, I mean, like,
you got to think about it with the level and the pedigree that you have to be to really get in trouble using this. It's not a small, I sent the wrong thing. No, this is an ongoing behavioral thing, and they just basically want to extend themselves to say, hey, we're looking at this. And if you don't think that other organizations are doing this, like, you're nuts. If you don't think that Facebook is monitoring everything, like, you just have to understand, in this day and age with everything so digitized and all the money being basically in technology-based segments, they're looking at everything that we do. And you're building an online profile. They should. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, when you become affiliate or when you become partnered on Twitch, you sign a contract and you're basically saying, I'm going to follow these rules and everything. But you know, it's this, if someone's like affiliate on Twitch and then they go in and beat up somebody the next day and get arrested, like, you know, like, I'm pretty sure that includes what they're going to be looking for, like people that are getting arrested, people that have a record and stuff like that, you know? And I just think it's important to make sure to hold people to the highest level of being just a good person, to be able to. It's a privilege. You know, you're not, you know, it's open to anyone to be able to stream on their platform, but like, you can't, you know, and I think it, like I said, I think it will also hold people accountable outside of streaming and playing games. You know, like how they interact with people in Discord and harassing and bullying and stuff.
Just that stuff is not acceptable in today's day and age. And to play devil's advocate, what the other side, in case you're wondering, if you agree 100% with Tails and I, and you're wondering what are people even arguing, basically they're arguing that Twitch is a platform, and as a platform, they need to stay basically unbiased. Their job is not to rule in one side or the other, but to stay neutral. And again, to my comment to that is, if you don't think, like, what's your competition? We talked about them earlier. It's YouTube, owned by Google, and Facebook, owned by Facebook. If you don't think that those companies are also monitoring everything you're doing and not afraid to shut down your account due to inappropriate behaviors, you're nuts.
YouTube does it
all the time.
YouTube demonetizes YouTube videos, or not even just YouTube. YouTube will demonetize anybody's video if they're going through a scandal.
Correct.
I don't know about James Charles, though, because they seem to really have,
that's a whole other issue.
Seems like they're in bed together because James Charles can get away with everything and not get in trouble for it. Let's just talk about that shit.
That's a whole other issue.
Oh, yeah. So, but it all transpires over into the content creation, and that does sit in the realm of streamers. You see a lot of YouTubers that are starting to cross into streaming. You know, and you see them like Bretman. He's been playing Among Us, and he's a beauty guru on YouTube and on Instagram. And he was playing Among Us with Valkyrie and Pokimane and all of them. And
I love the way you say
Corpse.
Pokimane.
You know what I mean?
You always emphasize the main, the Pokimane. I love it.
Pokimane, because her name's Iman. Is it Iman or Iman?
I think it's like, if I was to say it, I'd say Pokimane, but I would like, you see how like I kind of hide that back end. You really emphasize it, and I love it.
I think it's like Pokimane. I think it's Pokimane, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's just my accent coming out because I'm East Coast baby.
I love it.